Hey guys, today I'm going to show you guys how to put together the fuselage and the landing gear of this 152. So in the last video I showed you guys how to do probably the most time consuming and hardest part of building a 3D printed plane, which is printing out all of these parts. Most of the parts look pretty good and they should just glue right together. So the first step in gluing all this together is figuring out what the best glue is. So I went down to the store and I picked up some gel JGaurora super glue, Zap CA medium, and some Hobbytown CA glue. And I go ahead and test them. The first one I'm going to test is the Hobbytown CA glue. That one was definitely the weakest. The second one I tested was the JGaurora gel super glue. That one was pretty strong, but still wasn't very strong. And then the last one I tested was the Zap medium CA glue. And that one was way stronger than the other two. I definitely could bend the piece here and it wasn't breaking. So I picked up a large bottle of glue and also picked up Zip Kicker CA accelerator. Okay, so the first part that I'm going to start working on trying to fix is the push rod in the elevator. There's a tube that's built into the actual last part of the forepiece of the fuselage that this push rod wire is supposed to go through. The plans call for a 1mm wire, and it should just slide right into the tube just like that, and it'll just move nice and smooth. It's really cool that this is all built into the actual airplane. I thought it was a really nice touch, but unfortunately the printer didn't do a very good job on some of them, and the wire won't go through there. See, like this piece here, this one, both the tubes actually work out nicely. They both go in there without any problem. And it's too long of a piece to try to use like a drill to drill through that. So what I'm going to try to do is take this wire and heat it with like a heat iron, get it really nice and hot, and then try to just stick it into that hole and melt the plastic as it goes through there. So before I start working on the pieces that go to the airplane, I'm going to just see if it works. So I'm going to heat this 1mm rod up with the heat gun, and I'm just going to put it into a piece of scrap that I have. Just to put it in the side and see if it'll make a nice hole and if it goes through there easily, and it definitely does. It just slides right through the piece and worked perfectly. So now I'm gonna start to work on the pieces. I can just takes quite a few times just to heat that up, and then just push it through a little bit, heat it up a little more, keep trying it, and just keep working that 1mm rod through all four of the pieces and make sure they go through both the elevator and the rudder tubes. Once I get that done, I'm actually going to take the 1.5mm rod that you use for the flaps and the ailerons, and I'm also going to heat that up and run it through all the parts, so that way there's a little bit of slack in the tube, so that way the 1mm rod slides through there nice and easy with no resistance. The next step I'm going to work on is this nose piece. So it has some supports built in from the back, so you need to go through and just take a pair of pliers and break all this out. And it's actually a really strong nose piece, so you don't really have to worry about breaking it or anything. Just you can be pretty aggressive with it and just break all this stuff out. It'll take some time. Once I finish cleaning up the nose piece, it's time to test fit it and see how it fits. So first you look at it a little far away, it looks pretty decent, but you look up close, see there's a little bit of a gap there between the two parts. That gap is actually caused by these little pins. You can see there, that close up, see where that little lip is at? There's one little part right there that's holding up the piece. No, it's not quite flush. And that one I cut off already, and now see how it's nice and flat right there up against there. What I'm doing now is going through each one of the parts and cleaning up every single one, so every one of the pins on the fuselage has that little dot. I have to go through and cut it off with an X-Acto blade and stand up any other parts that need to be fit correctly. This is where you're really going to tell the finished product and what the quality is going to be. If you want to glue this whole thing together in one afternoon, throw some electronics in it and go fly it, you can definitely do it. But there'll be, some gaps, and it might not be quite as strong because the glue won't be adhered all the way along the seam. It might just have, parts that it is not fitting quite as flush. So that's completely your discretion on how you want the finished product to come out. for me, I went through and very tediously sanded each part and really took my time on this part of the build to make sure that all the pieces will fit together as nice as I can get them to fit. Next it's time to start gluing all the parts together. Like I said, I use the Zap CA medium glue with a CA accelerator, and the Zap glue sets pretty quickly, and then once you use the accelerator it sets immediately, so you can just put the parts together and then just spray it a little bit with that can of CA accelerator and it cures instantly. I start with the tail section and then I just work my way towards the front of the aircraft. Now that I have the fuselage done, I'm going to start working on the landing gear. So first thing, just start to glue all the pieces together. And here it is. Here's the fuselage and the landing gear all finished up. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and stay tuned. In the next video I'll be doing the wing and the tail section. Make sure to hit that subscribe button so you guys get notified when I put the new videos up, and see you guys in the next one.